Hello everybody and welcome to another series review. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Honestly though, this might be my last one. I think it's gonna be my last series review for a while. This is also a review of Where Madeleine Puts Her Foot in Her Mouth, because this is a series I said I would never finish. So this is the Precious Gems trilogy by Kerstin Gier, as translated from the German by Anthea Bell. I'd already done a review of the first book, which is Ruby Red, back in January I want to say, and I said I did not enjoy it, that I was not going to read the others. Well, I kind of did, only because June was a really bad reading month. I was in a total slump because I was so busy and I just wanted something I could listen to and I wouldn't have to think real hard while listening to it. So I listened to Sapphire Blue and then to Emerald Green because they were both available as audiobooks from my local library, and I was like, cool, why not? First off, the reader was terrible. Really didn't like her. She was really whiny for most of it. But then again, Gwen is a highly whiny character. And basically all my problems that I had with the first book still stand with Sapphire Blue and Emerald Green. To its own credit, Emerald Green actually decided to develop some sort of a plot and keep moving, but this is not a case of better late than never. It's a case of, really? You should have done this in book one. I harken back again to Brandon Sanderson. Seriously, if you guys haven't watched his lectures on creative writing for science fiction fantasy, you all need to do it because they are so illuminating and so fascinating. Where he talks about, I think it was a friend or a colleague, somebody who knew, who was writing a fantasy series, and so he said, okay, well, what's your fantasy series about? So this guy told him this incredible plot with characters, and it was like going to change the face of the genre, and Brandon Sanderson basically told him that, and he was like, whoa, dude, that's insane, can't wait to read it. And the guy goes, oh yeah, but that's just book two, you have to go through book one in order to get to that. And Brandon Sanderson was like, no, you never save everything for book two, because if your book one is bad, you're never going to get a book two. And in the case of the Precious Gems trilogy, I look at this and go, it should never have been a trilogy. Maybe a duology, maybe, but quite frankly, it should have just been one book, because not enough actually happens in terms of plot movement within books 1 and 2 to justify them even being separate books. That's going to be my ultimate sum up of this, is one book, not three. That a lot of things could have been taken out and a lot more things could have been added. Frankly, the entire relationship business between Gwen and Gideon just could have never existed. It didn't need to be there, and it was distracting. We spent all our time involved in their little insta-love that was stupid. I'm just gonna say it right now, it was stupid. And instead, we should have been focusing on the whole, hey, completing the circle, time travel, crazy evil count. I mean, you know, the plot, which seems to vanish for 2 books and then kind of show up in the third one. And also, with the plot, it was really predictable. Like, really predictable. It didn't surprise me in the slightest. I spent the whole thing just going, well, duh! I thought this was stuff we figured out in book 1 and we're just sitting around for 2 books waiting for the protagonist to figure it out. I am not pleased. I think I rated them all between 2 to 3 out of 5, and that's me being generous. Honestly, the last book was at least a little bit enjoyable because the plot actually, like, happened, but it's more like saying it was tolerable, not horrendous. Which the first 2 were pretty much horrendous, and the third one was tolerable. For me. I know a lot of people who really enjoy this series, and I'm like, you're free to have it. And I say that with a lot of very famous and well-loved trilogies that I can't stand. No judgment. Everybody's got their own taste. But yes, in the case of this, no. Just no. However, I will say I did then watch the film they made in Germany of the first book, which is Rübenrot, and they pulled basically all the plot stuff from book 3 and some of the stuff from book 2 and like started throwing it into the first movie because they realized, wow, if we just did the first book, we wouldn't have a movie. And it's not a good movie per se, but it's at least a little bit entertaining, mainly because the guy who plays Gideon is kind of gorgeous. You know, and that whole like chiseled jaw, ponytail hair kind of thing. Yeah. straight up only worth it for the man candy. But yeah, that's it. Real quick series review. Didn't really enjoy it. Kind of knew I wasn't going to, but I don't know why I kept listening to it, but I did anyway. But yes, so until next time, cheers.